Hi Deepa. Now, today we are going to discuss about the first, let us say, Python definitions we are going to discuss. So look at my screen. I think you could able to see my screen. Yes. So the Python
Yes,
is going to be, yes. The Python can be defined in, okay, let us say, 7 statements are given. So, sorry. So please look at these definitions. Python is a high-level programming language. Python is a general purpose programming language. I'll explain you in detail one by one statement. First, let us try to read those things. Python is a typeless programming language, and Python is a dynamic programming language, and Python is an interpreter-based programming language, and Python is a multi-paradigm programming language, and Python is an open source programming language. So these are the definitions. Yes. Now one by one definition, let me understand very clearly that. Yes. So first of all, if you want to understand the one by one definition, from where as a programmer, you are a programmer or you are a developer, as a developer or a programmer, from where actually your work starts. For that, so programming development life cycle, yes, first you have to understand it. So for that, first what we are going to talk is a problem. Yes. So problem. What is actually a problem? That a problem, we can say better, rather than saying problem, better use a word called computational problem. Computational problem is nothing but a problem which can be given to the computer to solve. A computational problem is a problem which is going to be answered by your computer, or nothing but you can ask a question to a computer. So the best example is, suppose say your question is adding two integers. If you want to add two integers, say 100 is one integer, 200 is another integer. These two integers you want to add it, and you are asking the computer add these two integers and give the final output. That is one computational problem. Yes. Or otherwise, you one more problem is find the greatest number among the three numbers. That is a one problem you are giving to your computer to answer. One more example. Say a given number is odd or even. That is a one problem you are given to your computer. Yes. First 10 numbers I want to sum up. Yes. That you want to given to the computer to understand it. Yes. So a computational problem is a problem which is going to be solved by your computer. So once you identify the what is a computational problem, once you understand the computational problem, then you are going to define algorithms. Yes. Sorry, you are going to define problem solving. Problem solving. What is actually problem solving? Solving your problem, solving your computer problem. How can you solve the computer problem? To solve the problem, we have a three design patterns. We have a three design patterns, and one design pattern is algorithm. Yes, or another design pattern is a flowchart, and another design pattern is a pseudocode. And these three are the designing patterns to solve your computational problem. So let us say one of the design pattern, as a developer or programmer, we are going to recommend to implement or develop algorithm. You know what is algorithm? So an algorithm is nothing but a stepwise instructions which are written in English language. Yes, stepwise instructions written in English language. Suppose I want to give you the best example here. Say problem is sum of two numbers. This is a computational problem. Yes, sum of two numbers. Now, how can you implement this computational problem? So now if you want to solve some of these two numbers, now I'm going to write algorithm. Algorithm is a problem solving technique. Yes. So what is an algorithm? An algorithm is nothing but a set of instructions written in English language. Yes. Suppose I'm writing an algorithm. So algorithm. So in algorithm, say algorithm is a stepwise instructions. Say step one. Step one is yes, start. Step two, is input first number A, and next, see I'm writing pure in English language, and say step 3, yes, input second number, and step 4, yes, sum is equal to A plus B, yes, and step 5, yes, return sum. Step 6, yes, end. Since algorithm is started with start statement, so it is a end. Still remember, now sum of two numbers is my computational problem. Now to solve the problem, yes, to solve the problem, I've taken the blueprint called algorithm. Algorithm does not require any computer. Algorithm does not need any programming language. Algorithm just need stepwise instructions written in English. See, just normal written in English. So to find out some of the two numbers, so totally I have 6 instructions. Yes, these instructions are nothing but a blueprint of problem solving, or blueprint of the problem. As this blueprint always tell you how to solve the problem. That once the algorithm is ready, once you define the algorithm, now tell me, Deepa, algorithm written in which language? Algorithm written in which language? Yes, English.
English, sir. Yes, sir.
English language. Yes, yes. English language is called as a natural language. A natural language is a language that human can speak out. That, or otherwise you can say a natural language is a language which is very close to the humans. Yes, a human who can speak the language, that is called as a natural language. So algorithm is defined in natural language called English. So whatever the steps defined in natural language called in English, as those instructions we need to write in as computer understandable language. That computer understandable language is called as a formal language. Yes, a formal language is a programming language, or otherwise if a formal language is a language that can be understandable by your computer. Yes, those formal languages are also called as a programming languages. C, sorry, C, C++, Java, .NET, Python. Yes, these are all called as formal languages. So once algorithm is ready, now you are going to write program. Now, if you want to write the program, a program is nothing but a set of instructions. Those instructions are defined in programming language standards. The programming languages are also called as a formal language. And try to understand here difference between natural language and a formal language. A natural language is a language which can be uh, say which can be understandable by the humans, which can speak out by the humans. A formal language is a language which is understandable by the computers. formal languages are also called as a programming languages. Now, so you as a developer, now your role starts here. Program. Yes, but programmer follows the instructions defined in algorithm. So that means algorithm is the base to write the program that. Yes, algorithm is written in English and program is written in programming languages. Yes, so you can say an algorithm is a set of instructions written in English. A program is a set of instructions written in computer programming language. Yes, so now let us say now when it comes to the programming language, again programming languages are broadly categorized into three types. Yes, one is low level language, assembly language, and machine level language. A low level language is nothing but a language which is understandable by your computer or CPU, central processing unit. Once again I'm saying a low level language is a language which is understandable by your computer or CPU. The CPU can understand only the binary digits like zeros and ones. Yes, so here in a if the programmer is an expertise in low level language, he is going to write these 6 instructions whatever we written in say algorithm. What are the 6 instructions? Those 6 instructions are coded in low level programming language. Low level programming language is a first generation programming language which can be understandable by the computers directly. But as a programmer, you need to write these set of instructions in using zeros and one. The zeros and ones are called as a binary digits. So as a programmer, it makes more difficult to write the set of instructions using zeros and one, and time consuming. If any error presents, if any error occurs, it's quite difficult to debug your program. And one more thing is, and the programs which are written in low level language are machine dependent. That means the code which you write in one computer cannot be executed on another computer. That is called as machine dependent. See one thing, and difficult for the programmer to write the set of instructions using zeros and ones. Second is time consuming, and third one is if any error occurs, quite difficult to debug your program where the error has occurred. And fourth one is, and the code written in low level programming language is a machine dependent. So these are the some of the drawbacks of low level language or machine language. But one advantage is here no translators are required. No translators are required. Why? Because your CPU can understand zeros and ones, and your program is writing the code in zeros and ones. So zeros and ones directly executed by your CPU. No translators are required. Here no compilers, no interpreters. Yes, so that is called first generation programming language. And so to overcome the problems faced by the developer, and the second generation programming languages are invented to make easy development. For as that language is called as assembly language. In assembly language, the programmer writes the set of instructions or coding using mnemonics. Yes, mnemonics is nothing but, I will tell you what do you mean by mnemonics. Suppose example, yes, say add is nothing but a mnemonic. Add stands for addition. That means addition of two numbers. So add is a abbreviated computer keyword. Add is an abbreviated keyword. Yes, that is called as a mnemonic. Yes, what is the meaning of add 45 comma 10? That means you are making addition of 45 and 10. Next, sub is one mnemonic that talks about subtraction. Mul stands for multiplication, count, and CMP stands for comparison. So these are all mnemonics. So again, a programmer has to remember more mnemonics. So again, there is a quite difficult in writing the program. Why? Because these are all mnemonics you have to be understand first. As a developer or as a programmer, first you have to learn the mnemonics. Now using the mnemonics, you write the set of instructions. Again, programmer finds some difficulty in writing the programming. And second drawback is here. Second drawback is the programs which are written in one computer, again, you cannot execute on another computer. That means the programs which are written in assembly language is again machine dependent. Yes. And one more problem is here mnemonics are not going to be understandable by your CPU, or mnemonics are not going to be understandable by your computer. Yes. Computer can understand what zeros and ones. That's called binary digits. Computer can understand only low level language. Computer cannot understand mnemonics. Only developer can understand. Why? Because developer has already an expertise in mnemonics. So a developer or programmer writes the instructions using mnemonics, but those mnemonics you cannot directly execute on CPU. So in this case, you need a translator. Mnemonics needs to be translated into binary digits called zeros and one. Yes. So those translators are called as assembler. Here we call it as a assembler. Assembler is a translator that translates the mnemonics to a machine understandable codes called binary digits. That's nothing but a zeros and ones. Yes. Again, machine code is dependent. That means the programs which written in one machine cannot be executed on some other machine. So that's called machine dependent. Again, still here, yes, and almost the code is okay. You will get a feel like involved almost like a low level language only. Yes. Now again, to overcome these problems, to overcome the problems in assembly language, yes, next third generation languages are invented. Those are called as high level programming languages. The high level programming language is a language which is very similar to English, and easy understandable, and easy to write the program, easy to read the program, and easy to maintain the program, and easy to debug the program. Debug the program means whenever an error occurs, you can debug where the error has occurred. Yes. So you can, as it's very high level programming languages are similar to English, not English, but similar to English. That's the reason humans can more easily understand it to write the set of instructions. And C++, Java, Python, .NET, these are all comes under high level programming languages. That's the reason here the first point what you written in say here in our definition. Yes, we written say it's a high level programming language. A high level programming language is a programming language which humans can easily understand, and the developer can write the set of instructions using programming guidelines. And language resembles English. So English like language, easy understandable. Yes, easy to write the instructions, easy to debug the instructions. Yes, so that's the reason we call Python is a high level programming language. But remember, when Python is a high level programming language means the language is resembles like English. That resembling like English means that language cannot be understandable by your CPU. CPU can understand only low level language or machine level language or binary digits like zeros and ones. But your program instructions are, the program contains instructions which are written in high level language. Yes, that means instructions resembles English. So those instructions cannot be understandable by your CPU. So again here we need a translators. Yes, so the instructions defined in or instructions which are written in high level programming language, those instructions needs to be translated into low level language. So to translate into low level language, we are going to use either compilers or interpreters. We can use either compilers or interpreters. What is the difference between interpreter and compiler? First, let me talk about compiler. Yes, what the compiler is going to do is, say, a compiler is a translator or a converter that translates the instructions defined in high level programming language into a machine understandable code. Yes, that machine understandable code is nothing but a binary digit code, zeros and ones. And how compiler is going to work? How compiler works? So compiler works in such a way that, suppose say you written the program with 100 lines. Say you written the set of instructions in 100 lines. Those 100 lines are going to be first loaded into memory. Yes, all 100 lines are loaded into memory. In memory, yes, it is going to write the compiler. It is going to compile entire code once, compile the entire code once, compile the entire code once. Whatever the compiled code is there, that compiled code is going to be saved. Yes, saved in the memory. What is the advantage of saving? You can reuse the compiled code. No need to compile every time the program runs. Do compilation one time and reuse it. Yes, that's one major advantage. Yes, but drawback is, since all program is loaded into memory, you need a more memory space. Yes, one drawback is more memory space is required, but one advantage is, since compiled code is saved, it is going to be reused every time the program need execution. Yes, no need to compile every time. Compile the code once and reuse it. Clear? And what is the advantage of high level languages is the programs written in high level languages are machine independent. Machine independent. That means the code which you developed in high level programming language, the same code can be executed on some other machine also. Yes, suppose I written the program in my computer. Yes, in my lappy. So the same code when I given to you, you can execute in your lappy. So it's a machine independent. But I think you recollect your information, low level languages and assembly languages. The programs which are defined in low level language, the programs which are defined in assembly language are machine dependent. But programs defined in high level programming language are machine independent. That's one more advantage. Clear? So yes, that is actually compiled based programming. Which are the examples comes under compiled based programming languages? And C, C++, Java, these are all known as a compiled based programming languages. Means those programming languages use compilers to translate the high level language to low level language. What are the advantages of compilers? Since compiled code is going to be saved, you can reuse every time when you execute the same program. Yes, and one more advantage is what? The compiled code can be executed on any other machine because it is a machine independent. But drawback is more memory space is required. Why? Because the entire code first loaded into the memory, then compilation takes place. Yes, so that is called compiled based programming language. Next, interpreter based. So interpreter is also translator. It translates the programs. It translates the program written in high level language to low level language. But how interpreter is going to be work is, interpreter reads line by line statement. Suppose your program contains 100 lines, 100 instructions, 100 statements. What interpreter will do? First read the statement. It will read first statement, translate it and execute it. Once it is completed, interpreter reads the second statement, reads it, translates it, and executes it, and reads the third statement, translate and execute. So like that, line by line execution takes place. Not entire code is going to be executed, line by line execution. So as a result, what happens? Interpreter will take more time to execute the program. But the advantage is it occupies a less space. The reason, it's not loading the entire program into the memory. First, it will read the one line and load it. So that means memory occupies only one statement at a time. Yes. So your Python comes under a interpreter based programming language. Interpreter based programming language. That means your Python interpreter reads line by line and executes line by line. Yes, once again, reads line by line and translates the instructions line by line and executes the instructions line by line. That is called as interpreter based programming language. Yes. So now Deepa, tell me, and compiled based and interpreter based, and which is performance wise more efficient? Which one executes the code more faster?
The interpreter.
Either compiled based
Yes. Interpreter, sir.
Interpreter.
Yes,
That
sir.
is called.
It is faster than a compiler, sir, I think.
Sorry, that is only the wrong interpretation, Deepa. Here, since line by line is going to be executed, so what happens? So if the program contains 100 lines, 100 times execution happens. Yes. So it takes more time.
But sir,
Yes.
Python is faster. They said Python is a fast programming language. So yes, sir.
See, Python is a faster programming language means that is a wrong interpretation and the definition. Yes, I'll tell you the reason. Yes, and okay, so let us come back. I will explain you soon to your your statement, whatever given, why it is a wrong interpretation. I will tell you. Now, interpreter, suppose if your program contains 100 lines, 100 times execution takes place by interpreter. So as a result, what happens? Your program execution speed, yes, decreases. Yes, that means Python programs are less faster than compiled based programming. In compiled based, what happens? All 100 statements are one time is going to be compiled and one time going to be executed. Not 100 times execution, one time execution. But the only drawback is more memory space is required. Yes, you know, compiler is 5 times faster than interpreter. Compiler is 5 times faster than interpreter. Yes, you know, C, C++, Java comes under compiled based programming languages. Your Python is an interpreter based program language. So when you compare, Python is slower than C, C++, Java. Then you can ask the question, Deepa. Yes, then why people saying Python is a very powerful programming language? Why Python is a very powerful programming language? Yes, here Python is very powerful programming language means, yes, it's very simple to write the instructions and very easy to understand the code and easy to debug. And Python has come up with vast amounts of packages and the libraries. Yes, you know, packages and libraries are nothing but a predefined functionalities are given. So as a result, with a lesser number of code, you can perform the computational task. Yes, so don't consider the only speed. Yes, you consider the features given by the Python. Yes, those features will dominate the speed. That's the reason people says Python is a very powerful programming language. Such a very powerful features are given. Yes, and Python has come up. Python can be used to implement animation, develop animation applications, gaming applications, web applications, web scraping applications, artificial intelligence applications, analytical applications, automation applications, networking applications. Oh, plenty of applications you can develop. For that, large amount of predefined libraries or modules or the packages is given by the Python. So such a very powerful features makes the Python as a very powerful programming language. Yes. So don't consider just only the speed. Yes. So compiler is one-time execution of the entire code. But Python, if number of lines increases and number of times execution also increases, that means it will slower the execution that. Yes, now you can ask question, Deepa. Then how can you improve the performance of the execution that? Yes, for that, the Python has recommended some of techniques. Yes, how to improve the speed of the execution. You need to follow some techniques to, yes, techniques while designing the program or while writing the program. Yes, in such a way that you can improve the performance or you can increase the speed of the execution. Yes, some external techniques. You need to know coding methodology. Yes, while writing the code itself, you need to follow some guidelines to improve the speed. Yes, so that's the reason Python is a interpreter based programming language. And remember, and see, programming languages are three types. Yes, and low level language, assembly language, and high level programming languages. Yes, and programmings are categorized into two types according to the analysis of the program. One is called as compiled based programming language and interpreter based programming language. Yes, Java, C, C++ are comes under compiled based, and Python comes under interpreter based programming language. Yes, and next, one more very important point you need to remember is Python is a general purpose programming language. You know, a general purpose programming language is nothing but a programming language you can use to build the software or develop the software for a wide range of domains. These are universal languages. You know, C, C++, Java, Python, these are all comes under general purpose programming language. Yes, if you want to understand the general purpose programming language, if you want to understand very clearly, first, before to talk something on general purpose, first you need to understand about declarative programming languages. You know, a declarative programming language is a programming language using which you can build a software for a specific domain, for a specific purpose. Yes, best example, HTML. You know, what is the HTML's purpose? HTML is a language, markup language. What is its purpose? The purpose is specific to design the front-end web page. That's all. Purpose is specific. What is that specific means? You can use only to design the web pages. You can't use for some other thing. And take one more example, SQL, structured query language. SQL is specifically designed to communicate with the database, not for other things. Yes. So declarative programming language is not a universal language and designed for a specific purpose. And we can use a declarative programming language to build a software or to build an application for a domain specific. Yes, but whereas a general purpose means the name itself saying general, nothing but a universal. Yes, so you can build applications or software for a wide range of domains. That yes, so your Python is comes under general purpose programming language. Yes, and that means you can use for building automation kind of applications in robotics field, and you can also build data analytics related applications for data analysis by doing bar charts, pie charts. Yes, that's called graphical analysis. And you can use Python for developing web applications, Python frameworks for web applications, and you can use Python for web scraping applications. You can use Python for building artificial intelligence applications. Yeah, so in a wide range of domains, you can use Python. So that's called it's a general purpose programming language. Next, one more very important point is Python is a typeless programming language. So to understand what is a typeless programming language, I want to compare first the other programming languages. Say, take an example. Say, first I want to take about the Java. First, let us try to understand the Java. Yes, in Java, you are going to write the programs like this. Say account ID, say is equal to and something you written. Yes. So that's nothing but and 7364. This is a value. Yes. This is a data value. This data value is going to be stored in variable called account ID, or otherwise you can say an account ID is a variable that is pointing to this value. Yes, suppose in Java if you write like this and if you execute the program, Java compilation error occurs. Yes, the reason. Now tell me, Deepa, this is what is this value meant for? Is it integer
So this
or
is
is it float?
integer type value.
Integer type value. But did you mention that
Yes.
account ID is integer type here?
No, sir.
No. So
No, sir.
that no, yes, that's the reason at the time of compilation, Java compiler, it will throw error. Yes. So compulsory you have to mention here data type call integer. Compulsory you have to mention it. Now compilation will be successfully complete. Yes. So this is called typed programming languages. Typed. Now Java, C, C++, these are all comes under typed programming languages. That means compulsory we have to define the data type for the variable. Mandatorily, a programmer or a developer should explicitly define the data type of the variable. If you don't define the data type, compilation error occurs. If compilation error occurs, then there's no translation happens from high level language to low level language. That means if the compilation fails, then execution cannot commences that. Yes, this is called typed programming language. And quite opposite, if you say Python programming, so if you consider about the Python programming part, yes, in Python, same thing I'm writing. Say account ID, yes, is equal to something you written. Yes. So this, in this case, I think you observed Deepa here. In this case, did you define any data type here? No.
No, sir.
Yes. This is called typeless programming language. Yes. Typeless. Typeless means there's no data type is required. Okay. A programmer need not to worry about to define the data type of the variable. Yes. So and at the runtime automatically the data type will be assigned to this particular variable. At the time of execution only data type will be decided. That this is called typeless programming language. That's the reason here we mentioned that Python is a typeless programming language. Yes, a developer or a programmer need not to worry about to define the data type of the variable. Yes, it's a typeless. Next, coming to Python is a dynamic programming language. Why Python is called as a dynamic programming language? So dynamic programming language means at the time of execution, memory will be allocated dynamically. At the time of compilation, memory will be allocated dynamically. Yes, and once the execution is completed, the memory will be vanished. The memory will be automatically removed using some garbage collectors. So that means dynamic memory allocation and dynamic memory release. Memory allocation and memory release. So dynamically happens. So that's the reason we can say Python is a dynamic programming language. Next, coming to that, Python is a open source programming language. Open source means, no license is required, free downloadable. Yes, if you go to if you open the website of Python organization, yes, you can freely download the software. No license is required. It's an open source. Yes. So, and the next is Python is a multi-paradigm programming language. Multi-paradigm is a programming style. How you write the instruction style. for that, first you need to understand some important terminologies like procedure-oriented programming languages, object-oriented programming languages, functional-oriented programming languages, and module-oriented programming languages. You know, yes, if C and Pascal, if you consider C language and Pascal language, those are completely procedure-oriented programming languages that does not support object-oriented. That means you are going to write the set of instructions in the form of procedures or functions. Yes, and there are some problems in procedure-oriented language. To overcome the problems, the next level we have a object-oriented programming languages which follows the OOPS principles. Yes, nothing but a polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction. These are all called OOPS principles. C++, Java, these are all comes under object-oriented programming languages. Yes, see, Java and C++ are especially object-oriented programming languages. They are not procedure-oriented, whereas C and Pascal are specifically procedure-oriented programming, not object-oriented programming. But your Python, guys, it supports multi-programming style. It supports procedure-oriented as well as object-oriented. These two topics like procedure-oriented and object-oriented, I will discuss in advanced Python course curriculum. There you can clearly understand what is procedure-oriented and object-oriented. This is more picture and more clarity you will get it. Yes, that is called multi-paradigm programming language. Yes, so finally, yes, I hope you understand all these points. Sir, all these points, can you frame it in a single sentence?
Sorry, sir.
Yes, the points, there are 7 points you written here, remember? Yes, can you frame in a single
Yes, sir.
sentence?
Yes, sir.
Can you frame in single sentence?
A single sentence.
Yes, can you frame it?
No, sir. Single sentence.
Yeah, see,
That doesn't
you
have.
written totally 7 statements. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Python is a high level programming language. Python is a yes general purpose program. All these statements you can just keep in one single statement like Python is a high level general purpose typeless dynamic interpreter multi-paradigm and
MultiProgramming
open source programming language.
language.
Yes, come on, I hope you're clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's what's the definitions what we discussed today. And one more topic today what I discussed is Python history. Of course, you're given the Python definition, but you should know Python history also. Who has developed it? Yes. What is an inspiration to develop the Python? And which language is used in developing the Python programming? Yes. When the first version was released? What is the latest version? What are the different versions of the Python software is available? Yes, for that. Yes, we have a Python history document, and just once thoroughly go through this. Please read yourself, then I will explain. Hi Deepa, did you complete this?
Yes, sir. Sir, why did
Uh,
he go for Python language? There were ABC, Modular 3, Algol 86,
yes, yes,
Smalltalk,
there are.
C, C++.
Yes, yes.
So why did you choose
See,
Python?
that's what I'm saying. And what are the reasons behind the development of Python programming language? What reasons enforces? What are the reasons enforced to develop the Python programming language? Means main inspiration was ABC language. Yes. What are the drawbacks in the ABC languages? Say the drawbacks of ABC is less programmer productivity. Yes, less programmer productivity, some kind of memory related issues. There are some drawbacks I've identified in ABC language. Now, so here I'll tell you the history. First, let us, okay, I'll come back to your point. So Python was originally, yes, and Python was originally developed by Guido van Rossum in late 1980s and early 1990s. Yes, that means the Python development was started in late, okay, Python development was started in 1989. That is nothing but a late 1980s, and the first version got released in 1991. Yes, that means Guido van Rossum has taken 2 years to develop the Python programming language. But what is the main inspiration to develop this Python programming languages? ABC. ABC is a scripting language. That was the main inspiration taken to develop the Python programming language development. Yes, and also he has considered what are the features not available in ABC, what are the good features in ABC, and what are the drawbacks in ABC, and what are the again good features in Modula 3, what are the features not available. So he has considered these programming languages, he has analyzed all these programming languages. Finally, he had come to the one conclusion that yes, so by covering all these programming language, he want to implement, yes, he wants to implement this one programming language like Python. That, yes, and moreover, see, the first version of the Python 1.0 got released in 1991, and second version of the Python got released in 2000, and third version of the Python got released in 2008. And today, by the time we are discussing, the latest version was 3.8. Yes, this was the latest version. And you can say why the Python name was what is why the name of the programming language was given as a Python means, you know, this Guido van Rossum was very much fond of BBC comedy serial called Monty's Python Flying Circus. It is a BBC comedy show, and he showed a lot of interest in seeing this every episode. So from this Monty Python's Flying Circus, he has taken the word called Python. Yes. So from that, he has given the name to the programming language what he was invented called. Yes. Even ABC programming language development team. Even Guido van Rossum is one of the team member. So he knows very well that what are the problems in ABC. Yes. So we can say ABC is the main inspiration to develop the Python programming language. That, yes. So see, Guido van Rossum wanted a name that was short, unique, and slightly mysterious. That's the reason he has used the name called Python from his comedy show called Monty Python's Flying Circus. That, yes, and all these points. It's an open source programming language, and this open source copyrights. This Python copyrights belongs to open source community and non-profitable organization called PSF. That's called Python Software Foundation, and which was headed by Guido van Rossum. Yes, and Python programming language was implemented in C language. Yes, C. Inspiration is different, and see, Python, yes, the Python programming language derived from other languages. That means it's taken inspiration from ABC Modula this. But while developing the Python, they use C. If you want to develop any software, you need one language. Yes, in the same way, to develop the Python programming language, they use C. that is called C Python. Yes, C Python. That means Python programming language was developed in C language. Yes, and so, and that's what the story of the Python history. That anyway, today I'll send you one document to you, that, and those documents you people can read it. Yes, and so you'll get all the things. No need to write the running notes. And tomorrow we will discuss about the Python characteristic features. Yes, and Python, if the time permits, we'll discuss about the Python software installation. Hi Deepa.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just a minute.
Yes, sir.